we live? I don't know if I'm live. Can you tell me a message if I am? If I'm live and I'm right up straight. Come on, somebody show up. They're all gone. Oh, one person on. Okay. Am I correctly orientated? And am I live? Okay, thank you, John. Well, good morning, all you beautiful bastards. I hope you're all okay. It's first order of business. I'll be at an event at the 23rd of August, which is on Saturday, from 2 p.m. I'll be on early with John Waters to 11 p.m. at the Misha Era Festival in Drumshanbo in County Leitrim. It's an all-day Irish cultural event. That's its only agenda. It's to promote and safeguard Irish culture for the future, and hopefully be a new version of the Gaelic League. It'll be a fun day. The children won't be allowed because it's in a. I think it's in a pub or a ballroom, something like that. I think there is a beer license, a drink license there, so I know no kids are allowed. But it'll be a celebration of Irish culture, history, art, music, food, the lot. It'll be fantastic. And so that's the 23rd of August in Drumshanbo in County Leitrim, and it starts at 2 p.m. That's when me and John will be kind of basically opening it, and it runs till 11 p.m. So it's a hell of a long day, and it'll be great fun. Drumshanbo is a beautiful part of Ireland. It's all lakes and everything like that around. You're into boats and stuff like that. If you're coming from the UK, it's not too far from either Belfast. It's about the same distance from Belfast and Dublin. So if you're coming over on the ferry, and so you've got like a month to plan. I would love to see as many of the tribe who can make it as possible. And you don't have to be Irish to be there. Everyone's welcome. All you have to do is love Irish culture. Doesn't matter if you come from Mars and want to keep it going for future generations in the age of AI. So mark that on your calendars. I'll put the link to the tickets in the comments section. It's been organised by Stephen Kerr from the Irish Inquiry and Cockney Cliff, who you know from, he's basically John Waters' like manager, promoter. Two great people. So yeah. So see you then. Hopefully 23rd of August, 2 p.m. in Drumshanbo, the Misha Era Festival. So yeah, I mean it's kind of good that this thing is coming up, because stuff is getting stranger and stranger all the time. It's just getting weirder and wackier. I did a talk during the week on the Scholar Gypsies with Jerry O'Neill and John Waters regarding like what happened to Trump and the whole Epstein thing. It's so bizarre. It's so bizarre. I still can't get my head around it. Why it's almost like a new Trump showed up. And my friend Fiona, the astrologer who you all know, she from Northern Ireland, she knows in Denmark. She just put something out the other day that maybe Trump was murdered back in March. And, of all the things I've heard so far, that makes just as much sense as any of them. It's like, they can do these deep fakes. They do have all these all body masks that are unbelievable. And, like, you can be, so could you imagine the ones the CIA and the rest of them have? On top of that, where's his wife? There's no sign of Melania. And the energy, the guy that we now see now that's apparently President Trump, the energy coming off him is not the same character. The kind of fun, joyous kind of thing is gone. It's it's just weird, and there's a lot of people in not in MAGA in America, particularly working class people. Their hearts will be broken right now, because He didn't run on that ticket to open the books on Epstein, but I just don't know. Now we're told nothing happened to Epstein. We know that. And then even Don Bongino and Cash Patel, they've changed as well. Now, yeah, there's obviously been some kind of approach. It's as simple as that. But maybe it's more sinister and weirder and freakier than that. Well, of course it is. I mean, we know that the world is a much more disgusting place at the top than we could even possibly imagine. And reality feels like crazy at the moment. That has been since the Rona, really. Has been. So on top of all that, it's just been announced by Meta that Zuckerberg and Meta are building a hyper AI system. They're going to build two gigantic networks. One of them will be physically so big, the actual servers and stuff, that'll be nearly as big as Manhattan. And I think that both of them are going to be located in Ohio. And for some reason, they're rushing this thing out similar to how they rushed out the needlecraft. And they can't. It's like they're desperate to get it up online. They're so desperate to get it up online that they're this super AI that they're actually building tents and temporary things to put it in. It's like the needlecraft. It's like, get it out there as fast as possible. Now, the names of the two systems, the big one is called Hyperon, and the smaller one is called Prometheus. Now, we know even the names are interesting. They're so big they would need dozens of nuclear power plants just to keep them going. So where are they going to get the power and the water for them? Obviously, where they're going to get them from. They know that the population is going to be reduced, and all the electricity that was previously used by domestic and industry, they just transfer it to the AI. Now, Hyperon, the big one, is nearly the size of Manhattan. Not in Manhattan, but it's nearly as big as Manhattan. That's Hyperon, as you know. Prometheus stole the fire from the gods, you know that. But Hyperon's more an interesting one because it's the big one. Hyperon is the son in Greek mythology of Gaia and Uranus. So Mother Earth, Father Sky, okay? And which is very common in Indo-European mythologies. Mother Earth, Father Sky, Ireland, Eru, Lu. And Hyperon was their son, but he would, more importantly, he was the father of Helios the sun, Selene the moon, and Eos. So basically, the five sense world that we experience under the day and night, Hyperon created it. So the reality, the life that we live as humans wasn't created by Gaia and Uranus. It was created by a Hyperon who put the moon and the sun in the sky and created this experience of life. The dawn as well, sorry. So it's to symbolize the dawn of a new day, with, instead of the sun and moon being our masters and guides, under nature, under the cosmos, under the old gods, under whatever god you believe in, it's now to be dictated by a hyper reality created by AI. And other groups are working on a similar thing. The warp speed to get this out is staggering. I can tell you why. The humans that haven't died off yet, they're got like the NPCs and the normies. They're all going to lose their jobs, right? They're all going to lose their jobs. There'll be no employment for them. So literally, they'll either put a chip in their brain, a neural link chip in their brain, or they'll put a headset on them, and just like in Black Mirror, or even like the real dystopian sci-fi, like I Have No Mouth to Scream, they will just enter into a fake existence, a vegetated existence, and until they get fed up with that, and then they'll just use them for their nutrients or something. It's as dark as it fucking gets. It's, we're only seeing if you heard the random conversations they have at the World Economic Forum about this stuff, like saying that, to stop racism, when a white person sees a person of color committing a crime, it will change the signal in their brain that they see a white person doing it instead. I mean, these fuckers are unbelievable. And they use this phony altruism to back it all up and say, well, we need to do this, protecting the world. you know that's what's going to happen. That's what their plan is. They're going, because this reality is collapsing due to, and that's another thing. It's almost like AI is guiding them to build more AI. You know what I mean? Like they open the portal, and these demons contacted them, and these demons said to them, yes, yes, this is okay, but we will help you make the machine that's the next one. It all really began with quantum computing. But it seems to have all started in 2018. For some reason, this element of strangeness all began in 2018. And for the longest time, I thought it was because the wave function collapse was going from started by 9/11. I still think that to a degree, but they're not going to give up that easy. So they're creating a new wave function collapse in cyberspace, an augmented and altered reality that the normies and the NPCs will go into. And they probably have to live their lives. They'll probably be able to live. They'll probably, there'll be a vegetable blob sitting somewhere like this, with a headset on them or a Neuralink chip. But in their minds, they'll be a rock star, banging beautiful models, and or whatever they want to do, fishing all day, or playing in the World Cup final, being a professional footballer. In their heads, James Bond. But that's probably what this stuff is for. Until they vegetate, they probably drain the nutrients out of them to use them for agriculture or some shit, or creating like a Soylent Green type thing. But it'd be carousel. I mean, we are heading to an enormous, and the ones who are not in the machine will, like us in the tribes, we'll still be able to enjoy nature and all that stuff, and that's what we'll all be doing. But they're also dying off at a phenomenal rate right now. I've been reading some unbelievable stories in the Irish media, like young women going on holiday to Spain, and it's literally the moment they got off the plane. They were healthy when they got on the plane. Something happened when they were in the sky. They get off the plane and suddenly they feel sick. They go to the doctor, and suddenly their body has multiple cancers of every kind ravaging through it, and she's dead the next day. This is the kind of shit that's going on right now. They're literally, it's getting very close to it's bodies in the streets scenario, and I think we're going to see a lot more deaths. And there's been a lot of even celebrities have just suddenly died and stuff like that. Michael Marsden and lots of others, and it's all covered up. You're never told why. Back in the day when Elvis died, every every fucking thing about his death was like spoken about and laughed about and made fun of. He died taking a shite and stuff like that. But the burlesquing of that man was horrible. All he ever did was sing songs and make people happy. But it's it's getting surreal. This is why they're not worried about the housing shortage. This is not why they know they're all going to die, and they see augmented reality as creating a fantasy altered world where there's no everybody's friendly. It's like a Coca-Cola ad from years ago. I'd like to teach the world, like it's like that in. That's what they think they're making, and they think they're doing. They know they're not. They know they're evil bastards, but they justify it to themselves by saying we'll make the world a happy place where there's no racism, there's no war, there's no nothing. There's just all your dreams fulfilled in this Black Mirror augmented reality, created by AI. But that'll be a trap too, because they always trap us. The Industrial Revolution took people from the land and trapped them in factories and mills and mines and foundries and shipyards and all kinds of assembly plants. They'll always trap you. that that they keep you alive just enough. Even things like you hear the trade unions say, oh, we were the ones who got the 5 day. Well, you weren't. No, the corporations did all that because they found out that if the workforce was happy, it was more productive. That's why they did it. They didn't do it out of the goodness of their hearts. Henry Ford was the one who came up with the whole thing of treating his workers good. That became the norm everywhere else. But it wasn't because he loved his workers. It's because they were more efficient in the new type of emerging technologies. You couldn't whip them as easy as you used to. And by having them working on production lines, they could work shift. They could do shift work, and that way it was in his interest to reduce their working hours and improve their working conditions, because he wanted more cars made more quickly and faster. And that was just picked up by everybody. So wow, so like I really don't know what planet I'm living on right now. I don't even know what world I'm living on right. It's so strange. It's so strange that the biggest news story at the moment is some guy who got caught with a side chick at a Coldplay concert. Now, who the fuck takes their side chick to a Coldplay concert? All them. So who even goes to a Coldplay concert? Yeah, they NPCs do and normies. But that music is pure mush, isn't it? That'll be the soundtrack playing when they're like vegetating in AI. Yeah, as their nutrients seep into the ground and they're kept alive. It's really gone mental. It's really gone weird now. I mean, it's been hovering on weird, since the start of the Rona, but it's really really getting weird now. But again, it's just the way you look at it. I see it as front row seat to this. I look at it with amazement every day. I wake up and I'll just look at my social media. I don't look at the news or the mainstream media or even alternative media. I only what pops up in my YouTube. I've got my YouTube feed beautifully tailored to just give me the right amount of news and then fuck off. And yeah, I've been putting protective runes up everywhere. I've been doing it non-stop now for about 2 years. I make two types, runes and ohms. I make the uath in the hawthorn ohm symbol, and the turazaz rune, as well as the agiz tree of life rune, and also the drua rune, the drua ohm. And I baked, I put them in, I make them into little balls of dough, and then I put the rune, I mark the rune into them, and then I'll quickly bake them, and then I carry them around on me, and anywhere I feel like there's we're being threatened, I throw them on the ground there. They've got salt in them too. It's a salty dough like attack, and they just dissolve. They don't do any damage, but it's just that's how that's it. I know it doesn't mean much, but it makes me feel better. It makes me feel like I'm doing something to protect Europe. And my ancestry is like most Irish people, Norse and Irish. So there's a large Germanic component to the Irish people. And if there's one, tribe that is European, it's the Germanic ones. They're everywhere, or they've influenced everywhere, and that kind of thing. Uh, but the Slavs as well, of course, I know that. But I'm just finding myself doing more little rituals like that, just to ground myself in this world as it becomes completely strange. And let me tell you something. I'm having, and let me know in the comments too. Remember, this is a tribe. We are having counsel here. We are discussing. I am not dictating. I am not, a prophet. I'm here. This is a pub. I'm generating conversation. This is why you got to come to Drumsambo. These kind of conversations will be flying. This is counsel. This is discourse, right? What was I going to say? Yeah, there's almost like a quantum unraveling dissolving going on right now. Things that happened in my life and individuals I encountered in my life. Sorry, that's the notification phone. You know, I changed. I had two. I had two phone ringtones on my phone, and I had to stop them because people would give me dirty looks. One of them was from The Simpsons. Dental plan. Lisa needs braces. Dental plan. Lisa needs braces. That, and that, you know, Homer's head when he's the union leader. That was one of my ringtones, and the other one was taco taco burrito burrito. You know, from South Park. And so I had to get rid of them, and so I'm back to like a boring ringtone. I have to get another. I have to kind of get some new, more offensive ones. I was on the first time I heard a custom ringtone. I was on a bus in Dublin about 20 years ago, and a Chinese lady got a phone call, and it played Chinese, and it was like that kind of you know, that kind of Chinese music, real loud on the phone, and that was the first time I ever heard it. I digress. Sorry. Maybe that's why we've been going strange ever since then. Yeah, people. Well, people and situations that entered into my life 20 odd years ago are suddenly returning in a kind of symbolic redoing of what they first entered my life. It's a difficult one to explain because you don't know these people. But yeah, it's like people from my past and situations from my past. They're happening again, but in very different ways than when they first happened, but connected to similar scenarios, like weather events. It's very peculiar. Very peculiar. You know, it's like, how much is AI already affecting reality? And it's like I'm moving backwards. Very interesting stuff is going on. It's difficult to explain because I can't really tell you the people who they are. But yeah, it's like a quantum resolution is taking place, or a quantum sort of like recycling, or something like that is going on, along with the general strangeness of the world. But yeah, this is the answer. This is the future. We have to. Now there's one there. Fucking hell. I'm just looking at an ashtray over here, and it's exactly the same shape as an ashtray, and the same angle that I painted as a watercolor that I found the other day in 2008, and from the same angle. And I found that the other day, and these kind of weird synchronicities are happening all the time. Olivia, who you also know from my channel, The Astrologer, Olivia in Germany, she mentioned a film last night that I'd never seen called Coherence from 2013. And it's about a fracturing of reality among these kind of like superficial upper middle class types having a dinner party in America. And one girl realizes that that she's actually the failures that she's had in this reality. It's like plays on Schrodinger's cat and all that kind of thing. And it was very interesting about the idea of doppelgangers in different realities and that kind of thing. And there could never be any kind of desire to move across the quantum realms between that reality. This could cause catastrophic damage, like you're like alive and dead at the same time. And you're basically stuck in the quantum world you're in, but you get clues. Like there's a slight difference now and again, like the Mandela effect, and it seems like the world seems like that. But right after I'd mentioned that, I'd left her a voice message saying that film is exactly because it was triggered by a comet in the sky. And do you remember during the Rona Chronicles, I was saying things like, you know, why do I keep thinking that all the strange is connected to space, a comet or an asteroid or something? Remember that? And then a film from 2013, which I'd never heard of, it seems very good film. It's kind of like a cross between two other amazing films, Melancholia and Await Further Instructions. It's in that style, and the uh, the split in reality happens while the comet is in the sky. God, that was even freaking me out. But as soon as I said that, I went right back to Facebook. No, I don't know. Some sort. Well, I can read Facebook, but I can't post on it. But I can still look at some articles. And your one Linda, what's her name, who was in the Terminator movie, there's a photograph of her and her twin sister who looks identically like her. And it's like these kind of weird synchronicities are happening all the time now. I'm sure they're happening to you guys as well. This is really strange stuff that's going on. It's like, what reality are we in? We seem to be in and out at all different times. And then people I know have all faded out of this. People who've been part in my life, on the periphery of my life for the last 10 years, so many of them have like faded out of it. They're just like without any kind of fanfare, just kind of like, ugh. Like people I work with and stuff, just kind of gone. Gone. They didn't die or anything. I know they're still alive, but it's like they're just like the archetype or the symbol that they represented in my life is now gone. That's the way I'd put it. I'll try and make another video later on today, but don't forget that Drumshambo, 23rd of August, and it'd be fantastic to see as many of you there as possible. And sanguine gnosis. Love you all. And I might do another video later. Take care. And let me know what you think about all this. Am I talking shy or not? Taco, taco, burrito, burrito. I'll fulfill your wishes, just taco.